Do it. Do it live.
And we are back live with the Blame Girl podcast with
Mr. Terry Wayne doing it live.
And we've got Jay Moreno in the house. Welcome, Jay.
What's up? What's up? What's going on?
Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We got blaming time. That's what's going on. Are you ready to blame?
Hell yeah.
All right.
Stuff.
All right. But before we do that, how was your weekend?
It was really good, man. Did comedy all week. I had Sunday off, but I had been running around since Thursday. I did Off the Hook on Thursday or Wednesday. Then I was in Orlando on Thursday, and then Calle Ocho on Friday. So back to back shows. It was good though.
Yeah, I bet you're tired.
I am, yeah. And I did a show on Saturday night. Yeah, it was all crazy traveling. It was nuts, man.
Where'd you do your show on Saturday night? You left
Saturday was one of those Don't Tell shows. You know Don't Tells?
Yeah.
One of those? Yeah. It was, but it was up in Fort Lauderdale too. So it was all traveling. Naples, Orlando, and Fort Lauderdale.
That's the life, ain't it?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, man.
Terry, how was your weekend?
How was my weekend? What did I do? Did I do anything? Oh yeah. We I guess me and the wife did date night. That was fun.
Nice.
Yeah. So we keep trying to scope out decent restaurants. For those who don't know, I moved about 30 minutes outside of Nashville, and it is a little slow around these parts. So we keep scoping out, trying to find better and better restaurants. A decent little Mexican place this week. But yeah, that was about it. We're preparing. We're having a guest for 10 days at our home.
Your dad?
No. Fortunately, I guess. My dad has a cat allergy, so he can't stay with us.
Hotel. That's nice.
No. My dad stays with my sister, who has a 4-bedroom house down the road. So
makes more sense anyway.
She can handle that. No, my father-in-law will be staying with us for 10 days, and I am coming to grips with that.
Nice.
I mean, it's not that I don't like her father-in-law. I do. He's a really, intelligent guy. He makes great conversation, but I don't care who you are. 10 days is a long time to be staying.
It is. Like I was talking to another comic friend about this recently, because I think it was an in-law that was threatening to stay for that long, and they were like pissed. And I get it, because I really get it. I live alone, so man,
I love how you called it threatening to stay. They were threatening to stay.
I don't think they stayed the whole 14 days or whatever it was. So.
No, but just the way you said threatening, as if it was like they were negotiating. They're like, I'll stay here for longer if you don't submit to my requests.
So, well, my weekend was fun.
What'd you do?
What did I do? That's a good question. It's all blurring together. Oh, I did a lot of fun stuff. I did Warren Scott, he has a new mic at the Best Western in North Palm Beach, and it was fire. It's like this 90-second, you can sign up on Slotted like they do in like Austin or LA, and you can do a 90-second set. There's a lot of those spots. Those are random. You might not get to go, and then you can sign up for a 5-minute spot. I signed up for a 5-minute spot, and I went first, and I was like a little surprised about it, but I went up first. It was a contest, and you were supposed to win a spot with, I can't remember the comic's name. It's Usazman. I forgot the last name. He's an Indian comic, and he was supposed to be there the next night, but the New York flooding prevented him from coming down at all. So Ricky Cruz ended up headlining. So, but it was still a lot of fun. Friend of the show, Brian Drolet, he's moved to Florida. Terry's left, Brian's here, and he is filming The Real Comedians of South Florida now. And we did that on Friday, a little bit on Friday. He filmed some sets, but Saturday we filmed some great footage, and I can't wait for it to come out. Can't wait for everyone to see. We're just going to be continuously filming, and I'll tell you a little bit more, guys, a little bit more about that at the end. So but that was my weekend. Friday, Saturday, I shot. Oh wait, Saturday night I had a show at a different spot. This North Palm, and it's at a spot where me and Jackie Sanchez had my first mic, but she did a mic with me there, and we lost it immediately because somebody got too vulgar, whatever. So now someone else has the room. It's been like 3 years, and we did a show there last night. And when we lost the room, y'all, we lost it because one of the comics was too vulgar, and one of the patrons almost got into a fight with him. And Saturday night, one of the patrons almost got into a fight again. They wild in North Palm. They try to act all white and classy and rich, but they are rowdy. Okay.
Yes, they are.
So one of them was like, just kept saying Jew at Steve Lamb, and people got rowdy about it, and he got kicked out, and it was wild. But I had fun doing the show. So.
Well, you gotta tell these business runners, man. You gotta let them know, like, if you do a comedy show, it might get wild. You know, you gotta let them know right in advance. And then if you do a clean-ish show, then you gotta tell your comics, like, hey, you're gonna get bounced if you.
Well, look, the better thing about this particular night is it's a Saturday night and it's a show. It's not a mic. And it's a night where there's not kids in the house. You know, when we did it, it was like a Monday or something at like 7, right? It was not a good time to be doing comedy because you're going to piss off somebody every time, right? But anyway, so it was a clean show weekend. What'd you say, Jay?
It was supposed to be a clean show, though?
Not Saturday, no. But when we did the mic, they said, just read the room, you know? And so we told all the comics.
Just read the room.
Yeah, we told all the comics, like, don't be too dirty. If you're starting to get, like, piss someone off, then just, you know, steer out of it.
If somebody says read the room, as a host, I just go up and say, what's going on, you cunts, and see how they react. and then you know.
The guy who ruins the room for everybody.
No, and then you know where they're at. You know?
Like,
well, if he tells me to read the room,
respect them.
Well, no, if he says, you know, don't get crazy, then I don't. If I go to a show or somebody books me at a show and says you got to work clean or you got to work clean-ish, I do what they ask. I always have. But if they're like, read the room, I'm gonna read the room. You know.
Oh, okay, I got you.
You know what I mean? Like you gotta see where the line is in that situation. I've worked clean before. You've seen me work clean. Like I got 20 minutes clean, you know?
Yeah. So it's probably clean, but just still dark, you know?
Oh yeah. It's definitely, it's not, I'm not Jim Gaffigan.
How do you feel about that, Jay? About clean mics or clean rooms?
I think it's great. You know, it's part of the game, man. You got to be able to do it.
That's right. You got to be diverse.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, right. Yeah, if you want
the first time I actually got to do it. I'm sorry, man. The first time I actually got to do it, I was in Tampa and I was doing some headliner dude, some old school guy. Mm-hmm. And he comes and I guess he saw a YouTube video of mine that was like terrible. I was doing some dirty joke, of course. It's like a cum joke or some shit. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, I saw that joke. You don't do that joke. And I need you to be clean the whole time. So I'm like, all right. So I was doing 20 minutes. So we did like 6 shows. So I got to do 20 minutes of clean material. The hilarious thing was
6 times.
Yeah, the first show, I do the clean set. And the first thing, this guy gets on stage and goes, what's up, motherfuckers? And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I needed you to be clean. I'm dirty as hell. And I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, he wanted like the shock value. So he didn't fucking want me to curse. So he could have the shock value for the show. It was hilarious.
So it had nothing to do with the venue owner. It was the actual comic themselves.
Yeah, the comic. Yeah, he didn't want. Yeah.
Interesting.
He wanted his curses pop.
And I'll have you know, by the way, Gio, I have never been banned from a show ever. Okay. I've known a lot of people who got banned from shows.
I've been banned.
You've been banned?
See there, Jay's been banned.
We're already on the comic stuff. Are we gonna do any blaming tonight, guys?
Yeah, we're gonna do something.
How Jay got banned though, real quick.
How?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I should talk about it. It's by that local Villain Theater,
Oh, okay.
Uh-oh.
They didn't like one of my jokes.
I believe it.
So they banned you? They didn't. I didn't like. What did we do there? We did the Wizard of Oz tour there. Yeah, I headlined there. I did like 40 minutes. They didn't ban me.
We did that tour though, so I don't know if I did something that might have been offensive. But
I'm just saying, like, I can't believe they banned him. Now, I'm not familiar with your comedy, but I'm familiar with mine. And 40 minutes of mine didn't get me banned, so I'm surprised they banned anybody.
We've had Tarek on the show. Villain Theater's they're more progressive. You have to sign that document that says you won't be offensive. So if you do, it's a breach of contract. How about that?
Yeah. And I love that place. I think it's great, man.
I love it too, but
I guess that's a good point, Gio. Like, I mean, my shit's dark and can be offensive, but not to any one particular group. So
you never know how like I was at Villain Theater one night and it was crazy. Kevin Benoit was there and he did some joke. He did his jokes. He was funny, but he also like offended some Black women that were there because some of his jokes were kind of like, anti-Black women. And they kind of complained. They complained about it. And
they'll do that
on being a progressive establishment. And so, but anyway, guys, it's a sad week. Senator Dianne Feinstein died. She died. And she's already been replaced on the Senate before her body's even cold. Who's to blame?
Nature, I guess. Like, Feinstein was old as shit. You're supposed to die. That's what happened.
I'm not asking who's to blame for her dying, but why is she replaced so quickly in the Senate?
I feel like that's every business replaces
because life goes on. That's why. And not to mention they've been asking her to step down for like almost 2 years because of her illnesses and because she's 1,000 years old. She hasn't been able to vote on the Senate floor. Well, guess what? In a split Senate where Democrats have a 1 vote lead with Kamala Harris being the deciding vote, replace that bitch. You know what I mean? Like, get somebody else in that seat.
No way she should have still been serving. There's no way.
No.
Be there. These people are. I wouldn't even want to be on or want my relative on film, like in front of the nation, deteriorating like that. You know what I'm saying? So why would you?
Well, it's irresponsible.
Do that.
It is irresponsible. If your grandmother was 90 years old, you wouldn't let her drive, and we're letting this bitch run the country? Really? Like, this is not right.
When was the last time she was reelected? It's crazy. I mean, but that I'm not trying to be ageist in any way. Like,
I am.
Bernie Sanders is my favorite politician, and he still has it also.
And he needs to go home.
I think
he needs to pack his bag and go home.
Yeah, he's done too.
Stay there. Period.
No, him, Biden, Trump, all of them. If you're over 70, go retire. What is the matter with you? Because guess what? There's no 75-year-old that's like, I still have more to do. No, they just want to relax and retire, and they should be able to.
Hey, what do you think?
The only reason they stay in office is for that craving of power and still telling everybody what to do.
What do you think, Jay?
I agree, man. It's the same thing. I don't think they should be there. Over 70 is way too old. You don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And I will defend that. That's not ageist. We have it in our Constitution that you can't.
75 do know what's going on.
Okay. I don't care if they know what's going on. We have it in our Constitution that says you can't be president if you're under 35. Why don't we have, if we have an age bar you have to get over, why don't we have an age cap that you can't be over for the same reason?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I disagree. I think it's you have to do it on a subjective level. I think maybe they need to be getting some sort of mental fitness test that they have
No,
frequently.
no, we're a society. You got to make a rule for everybody
We are a
that everybody
society.
follows.
You know what? Everybody deserves representation, even people up in age, But what I'm
I
saying,
agree, but there's an
what
age
I'm
that
saying
is
is
too
there's
much.
a time when you have to have people step down, and that needs to be based on something, not their age, but maybe their mental health. You know what I'm saying?
Do you know how many countries have age limit on judges because for the same reason?
Oh, wow.
Where once you reach a certain age, you have to retire. And guess what? That's fine. There's nothing in the world or the Constitution that says you just deserve to keep this job forever.
I just think that, you have, as a human, can still provide, social work to your country.
Good. Go down the street and do social work. Do it for your family. Do it in your community. You don't need to be in the Senate to do it.
I love Bernie. That's all I'm saying. He's my boy. I'm glad he's there. Thank God. Okay. I wish.
And guess what?
If
Bernie left, somebody from his district would get elected that had the same values that he did. That's why he's been in office for so long. Only he'd be like 42 and he could stay in there for a couple of decades and then he could retire.
Yeah. Well, that time will come. Okay. That time will come.
No, people in power stay there till they die, and we need to do something about it.
That time will come, just like the time has come for the Senate to enforce a dress code policy, like a boarding school, guys.
I don't agree with that either.
Why are they enforcing dress codes in the Senate? Why do they even need to?
Yeah, that's weird. I don't know.
Well, they need to because of what's his name? Fetterman. Fetterman, the one that just won in Pennsylvania, beat Dr. Oz, remember? Because he's like a 6'4", 260-pound guy that just wears hoodies and cargo shorts all the time. And then he stepped in there and they were like, oh, no, we can't have this. Even though Kirsten Sinema's been in there and like shit that Lady Gaga would wear, and they let her do it.
Did they say what the dress code was?
Yeah, it's suit and tie.
Okay.
Suit and tie for men.
Nice.
They did it specifically against him. And you know what my feeling is on it? I don't give a damn what you wear. Well, you got to wear a suit and tie so you can go in there and rob the American people for your own benefit. Oh, God forbid you're wearing, sneakers. Good God. Committing all these high crimes and treason and shit to get all that money.
Like they're totally worried about the wrong thing, like let the man be comfortable while he legislates. Y'all got to be there long hours. Maybe y'all should loosen up and fucking wear a hoodie.
Long hours. One of the easiest jobs in the world.
Yeah.
Long hours. You get mandatory vacations every year and not short amount of time.
Well,
it's like 6 weeks.
A lot of them also have jobs. Maybe not a senator though.
No. What are you talking about? That is their job.
Yeah, senators for sure.
They got a job. It's called taking money from lobbyists during their off time. Yeah, to relax regulations and hurt everybody to benefit a small group.
Yeah,
but you put a tie on while you do it.
I wonder if Elon Musk wears ties when he takes ketamine. Guys, Elon Musk, he is strung out on ketamine. Who's to blame?
I don't know, but I love it.
Right. It's a great headline.
Can you imagine just with Elon's brain, with his like on the spectrum brain, can you imagine what his ketamine trip looks like?
I wouldn't want to be around that nigga. That's all I know. What'd you think, Jay?
I think it's awesome, man. I still always think back to when he smoked on Joe Rogan. Remember that shit?
Yeah.
Awesome, dude.
He's
a guy, obviously.
Well, what describe to me, Jay, what you think? You're in the room with him. He's got the blindfold on. You're his guide. You're his coach. You're just there watching. What does Elon Musk look like on a ketamine trip?
Oh my God, it must be trippy as fuck. I would imagine he's just in space thinking about fucking aliens and shit too.
Well, thinking about aliens or thinking about fucking aliens?
Or he probably is one and he just fucking transformed back to his regular self.
That's what it is. He goes home. He goes to his home world,
Yeah,
and he's like, it's nice. It's nice to be back. What's up, BT?
Exactly, dude.
Is he taking it for depression?
Well, I mean, that is why the medical treatments are for mental illnesses, including PTSD, addiction, depression.
Yeah.
These are the things they've been using it for. So maybe people, he is on the spectrum, and people on the spectrum do have a little bit more likelihood of suffering from anxiety and depression. So I would assume that it started out that way, but like with anything else, it just becomes habit forming after a while. I think that's the road he's going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't really care for Elon, but it makes him a little bit more human that he's like addicted to a drug, I guess, for me. So I guess that's who I'd blame, him just being a human being. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I like Elon, man. I feel like I would follow him, bro.
He's not
Vote
a
for
human
Elon,
being.
bro.
He's not a human being because he likes hallucinogens. Like, that doesn't make you a
I'm
human
not
being.
saying that makes you a human being, but just he's vulnerable, right? Like he's gotten addicted to ketamine, and I don't
He's flawed, is what you're saying. You like that you like seeing a flaw.
I said I said vulnerable. So he's vulnerable. You don't have to correct what adjective.
No. I'm giving my opinion. I'm saying that you think he's flawed, and that
I
makes
think
you
he's
feel
vulnerable.
better.
Okay, that's what I said. So
All right, fine. I'm still sticking with my thought.
you just kind of tried to mansplain to me, and I caught you.
No, I'm not mansplaining. I'm calling you out on your bullshit. Is what I. That's what I think.
Bullshit. Okay.
You're like, he's vulnerable. No. You just like, all right, richest man in the world, but you got problems. All right, it makes me like you a little bit more. And you know what? I agree with you. I totally agree with you.
He's vulnerable. Yeah.
Yeah. If he got in a Tesla and then his Tesla wrecked because of that Elon mode we discussed before, and then he lost a leg or something, I'd be like, all right, I like you about 15% more now with one leg.
It's funny. It's like I've been posting about Elon. I posted this, and man, people just go off about Elon, right? They like, some people just love him, and then some people that just hate him, like want him to die. And then I was like, yo, I've been working a joke based upon that. The last time we were on and we talked about Elon in the Tesla mode or whatever. And one time when I told it, I was like, I hope it kills Elon. And I was like, maybe I shouldn't say that on stage. I know, right? Like, where did why would I
wouldn't put it on the thumbnail, but
yeah. So so now I say it tried to kill Elon. Is that considered suicide? Anyway, it's a funny joke. You should come out and see me and hear it. Anyway, I don't want Elon Musk to die. I think he's a vulnerable human, and I'm sorry he's addicted to ketamine, but I am very happy. But then I don't know that there is finally justice for Tupac Shakur, because they arrested someone for his murder this week, and some people are like, this guy's been talking about it for a while. We've all known who was responsible. And some people are saying, like Suge Knight says, he wasn't the guy. Some people are blaming Puffy. So is there justice for Tupac? Is there not? And who's to blame?
God, Jay, you take it.
I don't know. I mean, it's been so long, like you can't even believe anything anymore, But I saw it that he said that he had already been saying it like in 2015. He told everyone, he told the police, right?
Yeah, he told them.
Yeah, he's been saying it on podcasts.
Yeah.
He just thought he had
It's weird. Why are they coming out with it now, man? It's so like,
he had immunity, and then when he went on podcasts, now they can charge him because they can use that information. So,
well, according to the reporting, they said that they reopened the case in 2018, so 5 years ago. My question is, if you got a guy who apparently was already in town, already gotten that. I don't know if you watched the security video from the hotel, from the casino floor, but here's a guy that they know's in town. They know got in, scruffle, got in a fight with two crews in the lobby. And then like you didn't like, because when you listen to the detective, he says, oh, we've known it was him, we just didn't have any proof until he admitted it openly. Then what took 5 years? You know what I mean? If you reopen the case in 2018 and you now made an arrest in 2023, what was the 5 years for?
Yeah, it's shady, man.
That's a good question. Why did it take 5 years?
Yeah.
And don't tell me the wheels of justice turn slow, because if Donald Trump got assassinated tomorrow, they'd have somebody in the electric chair next week.
That's right, man.
So do y'all think, I mean, I guess y'all believe this guy is who actually did it?
I believe he did it. I just believe he flaunted it. I don't know what he gave a shit.
I'm just saying, Suge Knight, who was in the car and was shot, also said it wasn't him.
It's tough to know, man. A car, yeah. I don't know.
Unreliable narrator on that one. You know, you ever been in a car? Like, forget about getting shot at.
And a victim.
Forget about getting shot. Have you ever just been in a regular accident? Do you feel like your memory is 100% directly after that? And enough to see a guy in another car in another lane before he drives off?
Exactly.
And why would he admit all this? You know, he's going to prison. Like,
yeah, why would, if he did it, why would Suge Knight negate it? Like, it doesn't make sense. He just said they didn't arrest the guy who did it. That's what he said. Some people think it was the man's cousin, and then some people that I don't know if this is what Suge Knight is hinting at, but some people think it was Puff Daddy or P Diddy or Puffy, whatever he's going by lately. But Diddy, that's it, Diddy. They think it was Diddy. They think he called the hit, him and Faith Evans, Biggie's wife, and that's who's responsible.
Yeah, that's always been the thing, though. They've always thought it was Diddy, but
I mean, it could have been. I mean, it could have been, but now you got another layer where, yeah, maybe Puffy didn't do it himself. You know, obviously he might have just put the call out, but that's going to be hard to prove in that situation. It took this hard just to find the triggerman. Yeah. So, like, and now you're going to try and make a connection to him for conspiracy. I think that Suge's not a stupid person. You know, he looks like one, but he's not. You know, he looks like an ogre, but he's not a stupid person. I think he's he's weaponizing this now, saying, no, he didn't do it. So he can point that direction in, point that finger in a direction he wants it to go to. Yeah. You know, maybe a rival, maybe a business rival, who knows?
Yep.
All right. I don't think I think that this development does not move people too much. You know, it's like, we've arrested someone who killed Tupac. Not a lot of people believe it, or even if they do, they knew it. You know, like, it's just not really news, I guess.
I think this guy came out and said it because now he's in his mid-60s. He wants his name to go down with that clout. He's like, I'm in my mid-60s. I'm going to die soon anyway. Might as well get the clout for it.
And all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. Like, I'm pretty sure on his deathbed, OJ will confess too. So
imagine, that would be awesome.
You know, well, he might.
And that would be another one that we'd be like, yeah, we knew it.
We knew that.
We all knew. We just kind of let it go. You know,
he did.
We didn't want another.
He did write another book called "If I Did It" or some shit.
Yeah, well, and it's like, you know, he got off because we didn't want another riot in LA.
Yeah.
That's
the only reason he got off.
All right, let's talk comedy, guys. Again, we are welcoming Jay Moreno, Miami comedian. Welcome.
What's up?
So, tell us a little bit about how long you've been doing comedy and how you got started.
How long I've been doing it? In Miami, I've been doing it for 2.5 years now. But I started comedy a long time ago when I was 26. I did it for about 6 years, and then I had 2 kids, so it slowed down hard. Basically, really didn't do it, and so now I'm back 2.5 years.
How long of a break did you take?
Probably like 5 years, 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah, a long time, man.
You waited till your kids got to be about school age, huh?
Yeah. It was that, and I'm self-employed now, and so that happened, and it opened up so much time. Now I'm just free to do comedy.
Yeah. How did you get started and before you moved here? Where did you start?
I'm from New Jersey, so born and raised in Jersey, Newark, and I started comedy when I was 26, and it was just random. I was never like a theater person, or never did plays or any of that shit. The story was I went to this place that was doing comedy shows by where I worked. I was a bartender, and I called them to find out like what time the show was, and the producer was like this old lady. And long story short, by the end of the phone call, I was booked on the next show as like the new face.
Wow.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was fast.
Yeah. So I remember I just like went home and watched comedy and was like put a set together. And when I did that first set, that was it. I never looked back.
I'm a comedian now.
Yeah, that was it, man.
Crazy. So since you've been doing comedy, what has become your favorite venue to perform at? And you cannot say
The Improvs.
In Miami, you're saying, of course, huh?
Anywhere. It's too easy. Anywhere in Florida.
I like to limit it to South Florida, and then if you want to take it outside after, you are more than welcome to.
Orlando is included.
Okay. I guess in Miami, I would say my favorite spot outside of the Improv is the SLS.
Okay.
You been there? Have you done that one?
I've done that. I'm actually booked there this month. And I did drop in months ago, but it was fun. I liked it.
Great, man. Great. I love it. People find it hard. I don't know why. It's just it's sexy. It's dark. It's like perfect for comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I like the setup for sure.
Yeah.
But I just I wish I would have had more time with the crowd when I did it, Yeah. I think because I did the little drop in, it was only like 5 minutes, and I was like, man, I gotta get off already. So I did like it. What about, do you like anywhere in New Jersey or outside of Miami?
Jersey, I haven't really gone up there to do comedy, and they only have like 2 major comedy clubs.
Oh, okay.
But outside, it's all comedy clubs. Like I did Laugh Factory in LA, and that place is awesome. I don't know if you've ever been.
Yeah.
It's an old building, looks like a castle. It's like incredible inside. Been there?
No, I haven't.
Oh my God.
I have.
Yeah.
Any room with a balcony to me is great.
Yeah. Yeah, very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I like? I go to Naples a lot, Off the Hook Comedy Club in Naples. Super nice. They just revamped it. They redid it. They added like another 100, so now it seats almost 300 something. It's great. Wow. Yeah.
I did that room last year during the Florida's Funniest. And it was just like surprise because Renee needed a host because Nathan Wallace couldn't make it. Yeah. And so she asked me to do it. And I gotta say, I had a rough time, but I was the host, like opening up. Like that's hard for me. So.
I can't stand that room. Cannot stand it.
Really?
I'll always take the gig, but it's not the room itself that bothers me. It's not even, Captain whoever who runs it. No, it's the crowds over there. It's nothing, it's just wall to wall, old white conservatives that can't handle it.
I love it. I realize I've gone there enough to like learn how to work with them. All you gotta do is shit on them. That's what they want.
Yeah, I know. It's just
your thing. You're wearing diapers. You can't believe it smells like icy hot in here. And they're like,
but it's just like playing to the lowest common denominator always irks me. So,
So what where has you talked about being in LA? Where has your travels taken you?
Oh, the tour, man, the tour has taken me everywhere. We've been to, I believe, like 13 cities so far, including Cleveland. So we're going to Chicago. We've done Arizona, Philly, LA, Georgia. We did the whole Florida run, Orlando, Tampa.
You want to tell us a little bit about that experience, or?
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. I mean, the incredible part was I put that tour together. The tour I'm talking about is the Boricua Comedy Tour. It's a tour that I have with all Puerto Rican comedians. Mark Vieira headlines it. And yeah, I just thought of it. We did it once in Miami and it was like a hit the first time we did it. It was funny because Mark, he wasn't really part of it. He just came for one show. And I remember him thinking like it was just some bullshit. And the first one in Miami was a hit. And he came to me, I love this idea. Like, I want to be part of it. Like, he was never the headliner. It was just for one.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, so you be the headliner, I host it, and we'll turn this to a thing. And he's like, all right. And so, like, the first couple, he booked me out of town. I had nothing to do with it.
Wow.
He called me and was like, hey, I got us a spot in Cleveland. And I was like, let's go.
Is it just you two?
It's us two, and we get like Cypher Sounds has been on a couple runs with us. I don't know if you know Cypher Sounds. Mm-hmm. He's a Puerto Rican comic big. He opens for like Dave Chappelle and shit. He's on the Burt Krishna tour. Wow. Marcelo Hernandez, remember Marcelo? Mm-hmm. At SNL now. He was the Dominican. We always bring one Dominican on the tour.
Oh, is he actually?
You just throw a Dominican in there too. Nobody will notice. It's fine.
Well, there's a thing between Puerto Ricans and Dominicans. There's like we got beef, so it's a funny thing.
Mm.
But yeah, so that's how it happened. And then everywhere we went, I'm start learning that most clubs own other clubs or have sister clubs.
Yeah,
it's on the giant web. So once we went somewhere and did really well, it sold out. They'd be like, "Hey, you guys should go over here. You go over here," and that's how we just started traveling.
Nice.
Yeah, it started like selling itself basically.
So since you've been a comic, what's been your favorite moment or proudest moment?
I gotta say the tour. Creating it, thinking of that, like I thought of that like sitting in bed one day, like I'm gonna do this tour with Puerto Ricans.
So like the production aspect of it.
Yeah, like putting it together and having like so many, there's all these like what do you call them? Like influencers or TikTokers, whatever, that are Puerto Rican, and they have hit me up from everywhere, wanting to be part of it, or these Puerto Rican groups, or
you found your market.
Yeah, and they just like, I've met so many people through that, and the fact that I created that from just an idea to now like groups want to support, and I get money from restaurants when we do shows for promotion.
Are you selling merch for it?
We have merch, we have T-shirts, we got everything. It's a whole thing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, because like touring and being able to travel and tour with a headliner like Mark Vieira, that's amazing, because just the exposure that you're going to get throughout the country, that's what every comic wants. And then you get to really practice, you get time, it's awesome. So
and get paid. That's the best part.
You get paid.
Usually you're on the road as an opener, you get like whatever, the $100 while the headliner gets everything. But
yeah,
we do more like a 60-40 kind of thing or whatever.
Yeah. So what's been your biggest challenge as a comedian?
God, the damn followers. That's my challenge.
Same.
It's weird. I live, I'm in this place where like I'm traveling, like you said, and I've always been sure to build relationships with all the clubs where I'm at. So it feels like I'm this bigger comedian, but I'm not. I have 4,000 followers and nobody knows me. And whenever I throw a small show, nobody comes. You know what I mean? And it's just like, how do I get followers, dude?
Let me know when you find out, because I'm still trying to figure it
out. I do the posting. You can see I post daily.
Yeah, same.
I don't know.
I don't know
trying to figure it out.
Strike it lucky one day, you get the right algorithm, you get the right tags on there. Yeah. Maybe the video is, I don't know. But you got to keep doing it, and I probably try more with like just blame girl videos, like, who's to blame, than I do with like comedy videos. But I do post the occasional comedy, and it'd be like material, but then like for the first time ever, I guess yesterday I posted because that show I was at on Friday, the crowd was very vocal. You know what I'm saying? They kept like
Yeah.
interrupting me, and so I posted the clips of like me responding to the crowd, and I really liked it. I think it's one of my better videos, oddly, because it's not like just straight up material. So, and I've kind of noticed that when people do post their videos from their comedy shows, it's not straight up material.
Yeah, usually.
Do you
I
go
don't.
ahead?
What's up?
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was saying that about like I actually post material. I don't know. I don't do crowd work at all, which is weird. But
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about yourself. You said you're from Jersey. We know that.
yes,
How you've been in Miami 6 years, you said?
6 years, going on 6 years. Yeah.
And so do you have family? I guess you've answered like all these questions. What else do you
Did
want
I?
to know about you? Do you have any other projects? You got
I have a podcast as well. It's called You Can't Be Serious Podcast.
and what's the podcast about?
Nothing. It's just talking shit with comics,
Kind of like this, huh?
People always ask me that. Yeah, I don't even the first time we shot, I had like a paper and I'm like, I'm gonna ask questions. And like I don't even halfway through that, I balled that up. I was like, all right, let's just shoot this shit.
Yeah. I like the little I like outlines and the theme. So it guides me on how to like
No, it's great. I appreciate it. Yeah, because the way I do it, it goes left and
no, I see a
the
lot of
time flies by and we haven't talked about anything. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
but sometimes that works, sometimes just the normal conversation is entertaining, but nonetheless. All right, so are you ready to play the blame game?
Yes. What's up?
Now you said you don't do crowd work, but Miami, you kind of have to. Who's to blame? Why is it like that, Jay?
I don't know. I think the culture was just built like that. From me coming 2 years ago, I think the bigger comics that were doing well in Miami were doing that, and everybody just sort of followed suit.
Who would you say some of those bigger
I
comics?
hold on. I also have a theory
Okay.
that I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm older and
40s.
good. Yeah, I mean I'm 41, so I think
42.
these young comics don't have the same brains. Like they don't have imagination. And they can't, you know what I mean? We grew up with Looney Tunes and stupid shit that made us funny. And so they can't write jokes, I don't think.
I think and I'm like torn on like, is it because they don't have life experience yet
Right.
and younger, or is it because their whole lives are like on the computer? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, that's what I mean. They don't have like life experience, life imagination, or just it's
Well,
so
let's try to remember.
like smart jokes and like I don't know.
Well, let's try to remember some of the most famous comedians. We're talking about Dave Chappelle, Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock. They've been doing it since they're successfully living as working comedians since their early 20s. I mean, Dave Chappelle had the Chappelle Show at what, 24, I think, 25, something like that. Seinfeld at 23 had already done his first Tonight Show appearance
Brilliantly when they were young. You're right.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
But the difference is, as you said, they don't have that phone in front of their face 24 hours a day. They're out there actually living in the world, doing things.
They had rough lives. They had to experience shit and raise themselves. So
they had to get lost and use a real map, you know?
Yeah. The first time I crossed the country was with a paper map.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do that, Generation Z.
It's true. And that's how you find yourself, through people. They're just looking at all these other funny people and trying to figure out, this is what's funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why do you think why do you think the crowd work aspect, I feel like it's particular, like the further south you go, when you get into Miami, it's almost necessary to do a little bit in your set. You know what I'm saying? Why do you think it's like that down there? I have my theories, but
I'll tell you this. I do literally zero crowd work and I do very well every time I'm on stage. So I don't think you need it at all.
I love that. I love to hear that. That's so refreshing to me, because that makes me feel like I don't need to be Although with that said, like we were talking about the clean, that is something that I want to challenge myself to be able to do, so I do try to do a little crowd work when I do go.
Sure.
Well, it's necessary to have for when you run into that drunk or that bridesmaids party or whatever. It's necessary to have when you come into that, but you shouldn't build your act. I know plenty of guys built their act around it. I know guys that don't do material; they just do crowd work.
Yeah, me too.
And it's honestly, it's just the easiest form of stand-up there is.
Yeah.
Improv's harder,
personally for me, if you're doing only crowd work, I'm gonna tune out and get on my phone at some point.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
I don't respect
what are you guys
that.
on a date? Are you fucking tonight? It's just it's
I don't
so
respect
easy.
full crowd work. Like the
No.
whole set is crowd work. That come on, man. People paid money to see jokes. Like,
yeah.
I always say,
there
we're magicians, and the trick is the joke. The rabbit is the joke. Like,
well, there's an in between to it. I'll say that there's an in between to it. I've always said, your crowd work should be like bullets in the gun, but you keep it on your hip until you need to use it. And you can work out that stuff ahead of time so that when that situation does come up, you've got an answer for the drunk guy, you've got an answer for the middle-aged Karen, you've got an answer for the bridal, have those in the gun, but keep it on your hip till you need it,
That's how apparently Ari Spears does his show, is he does all like pre-rehearsed, pre-planned crowd work.
Right.
It's his material.
It's so weird that we're even talking about this, because this is my segment at the end for tonight. This is my words.
Oh, okay. Well, Jay, do you have anything you want to promote? You want to give out your socials? Say your podcast again.
My podcast is You Can't Be Serious. It's on all the platforms. It's on YouTube. And the Boricua tour is, I have my link in my bio. We're all over the place right now. We got Chicago, October 18th, Orlando Improv, November 22nd, and Punchline Philly, November 30th.
So dope.
And
good luck in Philly. Good Lord.
Yeah, we did it once already. It's a fucking nightmare. It's exactly what it is.
Philly crowds are no fun.
I thought, put it like this, last time we went, they were so rowdy. And we got through it. And I was like apologizing to some people as they came out. They were like, "Oh, we had a blast." Like, I was like, "Sorry, those people were yelling." They were like, "No, that was hilarious." Like, they loved everything, all about people.
Wow. You just never know how people like to be entertained. And that's like goes back to the crowd work. And then just like that crowd is, they like people yelling, I guess.
Oh, Philly wants crowd work. They want you to curse them out. They're toxic over there.
Yeah, it's Fort Myers, just younger and with more drinks.
All right. How can they did you give your socials?
Oh, I didn't. Hold on. And it's everywhere. It's Jay Moreno Comedy, JAYMORENO _comedy.
Which, by the way, I mentioned earlier about your email address.
Yeah.
Do you know that if you don't read it correctly, it just spells J More No Comedy? J More No Comedy. Yeah, I when I sent out the email, I was just like, I wonder if he recognized that.
If you
That's actually kind of cool, bro. I like that. That's fun.
That's ridiculous. It's like you don't know any Spanish name.
More No Comedy.
Yeah.
All right. What are your words for white people? It sounds like they're not just for white people this week.
No. This is a first now, because we've been branching out on this. This is words for comics. This is words for stand-ups. And the word is crowd work. Well, it was going to be. Now it's hecklers. Okay. That's the words for this week, because it has become a very popular thing on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, to post your videos, which, I mean, I get the idea, because the only two things I have on TikTok stand-up wise is from those New York shows, and it was just based on stuff that I had written specifically for that show. So I get not wanting to burn your material. However, what I do think is happening now is, because you have the popularity of people like Matt Rife Sam Morrell, and countless others who are just posting this crowd work stuff online, and it's getting so popular and it's getting these millions of views and likes and everything. I think we're just increasing the heckler population. Yep. Because then the average person who's not a stand-up goes on there and sees these things and go, oh, that's what they want us to do. That's what their act is. That's our part of this, is now to become involved. And it's you're kind of taking your legs out from underneath you by doing this. Now, am I saying they're wrong for doing it? No, obviously they've had great success doing it. But I've seen average comedians, I've seen local comedians doing the same exact thing. Just know you're building a reputation for yourself, and you better be able to back it up later, because now a lot of the shows that you go to, those hecklers might already be primed and ready, waiting for you before they get drunk, because that's what you have established this show is going to be about. And I guarantee you that even these top comics that are out there, selling out theaters now, they're going to have an issue a little bit, I wouldn't say within the next year, because it's become so popular that now it's just a mainstay. Everybody's seen them. Everybody knows it. So, it was great for the club, in New York, or it was great for the club in Boston. How are you going to like it when you're renting that theater out and you're trying to make a special, or and now all this stuff is getting in your way. So I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying tread lightly, because you might be creating your own demons here.
Well, I mean, what happens when that's just the environment we work in now? You got to adapt.
That may be true, but comedy's gonna lose a lot. The art of comedy, the art of stand-up comedy is gonna lose a lot of its sparkle if that's the case.
Think about me. I have this conversation all the time, and I'm in a place where I feel like my niche is that I tell jokes. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, people talk to me, I'm like, no, my thing is jokes, which is, I still feel it's what's supposed to be, but now it's a niche.
Yeah.
What are you going to lose though? You might lose a Seinfeld, you might lose a Chris Rock, you might lose a Chappelle, because you've established that that's what you want. It's comedy, not karaoke. All right. You have no part in the show.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know. I agree, but I just don't think. I think we sound, maybe y'all, because it's not me. Y'all sound like old men that.
I guess.
Also, I hate.
I'm just saying.
Again, I didn't say don't do it. I just said they might want to be cautious with it.
I hate crowd work at an open mic. That's my number one part.
Oh God, yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes I'll do it there because, like, if there's people there, right? But if it's just comics, I would not do that to comics, But if it's people there and they're not really very responsive or whatever, then I might try to do that, because then maybe they'll be more responsive. But I don't do crowd work a lot because it's not my thing. I like to tell jokes as well. But
again, I didn't tell anybody not to do it. I'm just saying, when you train your dog to bite, it increases your chances of getting bit. That's it.
You have a point. Right.
All right, and when you got $25,000 on the line for a theater you rented to do a show, that's not when you want crowd work.
Yeah. All right. I guess that's it. Until